Hello my lovelies, Rob here from Kickback Garage. Now in this video we are going to be attempting to fit the BGM large range petrol tank. If you want to have a ganj, go grab yourself a cup of coffee. I'll see you after the intro. Right, my thoughts on this are that it could take a while. I don't think so. A few people have, on the last video, were saying that the 12 litre capacity isn't really worth the hassle. I think it is. And it's not 12 litre either. I think you could probably squeeze in about 13, 12 and a half definitely in there. But a good thing about the capacity thing and the fact that this is maybe a little bit smaller than, let me move you up. Why is my camera moving? Let you move it up. Yeah, the one thing that I think is okay about it not being massive capacity, well, first off, there's a lot of 17 litre tanks out there. They probably don't fit 17 litres. The cutouts are huge, but that's the way it is when it's universal. Maybe if this turns out all right and we can buy enough of them, maybe they could make a left and right cutout. I don't know. I know that tooling is expensive, mould making is expensive. I used to work in a foundry, so I know a bit about that. But it's basically just two screws at the top, 2 screws at the bottom. I was looking at the instructions, and there may be some drilling involved in the Series 1 here, and maybe Series 2s. I'm not sure. I'm not really going to try and think about that until I've got it ready. Yeah. Shall we make a start, shall we? What I was going to say about this slightly smaller capacity than some of the other tanks on the market is... Oh, why is that stuck? Can't get my panel off. Why can't I get my panel off? Oh, it was well and truly stuck on there. They're new rubbers as well. Yeah, what I was going to say was the nice thing about the tank is, hopefully, because this did not fit at all. I had to smack the hell out of it. I'll show you how that looks afterwards. But the nice thing is, it should give me a little bit more wiggle room, so that, because the whole object of the thing is that when I fit the tank, I don't want it to be touching any bodywork, so it's not going to rub and it's not going to vibrate. I'm trying to give you a bit of glimpse under the panel work here. This handy light from Scooter Centre. There we go. That should be all right. If I zoom that in, maybe you'll be able to look. But what I was going to say was, while I am taking out the tank, is when I fit tanks with tank straps, then I always fit the trunnion bolts at the back of the tank here, because, as you can see, it gives me excellent clearance to get to them. So it makes... Oi, I broke my light. No, I didn't break it. It can withstand that. Maybe if I put it this side, it won't get in the way from my hands. Maybe. But anyway, as I was saying, I fit the trunnion strap screws on... My goodness, my hands. On the back of the tank here, because it just gives me a lot easier access if I need to remove it, like I am doing now. Obviously, I have to take off the petrol. Because this is a TS1, my petrol pipe is about 300 years long. I think I'm going to have something to drain the petrol in. Can I drain it into this ice cream tub, maybe? There we go. Right, so I've loosened the tank straps on both sides, but as you can see, it's so tight up onto the frame here. It's actually even touching, even though I've completely battered it to bits. I'm having problems trying to take off the tank straps. Obviously, this one won't go off without the petrol fuel tap off. but on the other side as well, it's quite stuck. So I'm really going to have to manhandle this puppy out of there, almost in the same fashion that I manhandled it on the way in. But what I wanted to show you was if you're fitting an idiot tank like this, then these bars here, they're really handy. You buy these from MB Scooters. And if the fuel tap is further back like it was on this one, and you need to extend it a little bit, then what you do is simply cut the fuel tap rod, fit this bar, drill a hole, and fit your split pin in there. So hopefully I'll be able to extend this to the original size, because apparently, according to Scooter Centre, the positioning of the fuel tap in the new tank is a lot better. But anyway, handy little gadget. Makes faffing around like this quite a lot. I have also removed the wire to my fuel tap sender, which doesn't work. It lasted about a week before it was just flashing fuel. Low fuel in my SIP speedo there. But I am not going to be fitting one with a sender, but I will definitely buy one as soon as they get those in stock. Apparently, I can see it straight away here, that the fuel tap itself is a lot more chunky because they don't have this tiny hole to work with, so the fuel filter is a little bit bigger. And what they say is the new redesigned fuel sender for the BGM Safe tank is a lot bigger, and it will resist getting stuck, which is a good thing, I reckon. So I'll definitely try that once that comes in stock. Now, how on earth am I going to get this tank out? It is truly, well and truly, shoehorned in. I am having a right nightmare getting this out. I need to remove the bottom rubber, which wasn't actually doing anything, so I can actually get it out past the... Oh, come on. Oh, out past the frame loop. Oh, my... I had to bend down the tank to get that bloody fuel filler through, but I think I'm easing her out. I think I've got her. Oh, you bastard. Yes. Oh, finally I can close the lid on that thing. Oh, can I? Oh, don't be a pain now. And that, folks, is why you don't buy Asian stuff. Look at the top of the tank. While I'm here, I want to show you. This is sort of the extent of the hammering I had to do to get it in. I've had to flatten it here, along the whole edge here. And it's quite a lot of, and that is just an accident waiting to happen, to be honest. That's going to start splitting. Another thing, it was so tight as well against the bolt that holds the toolbox. So that was probably giving extra vibrational noises, which I should get rid of by fitting the new tank. Right, that was my... It's obviously not going to work there. That was my toolbox removed. Let me just open this. Yeah, and as suspected, because it's a slightly smaller volume than some of the other offerings on the market, it's really easy to slide in there. So this comes with, I mean, how hard can it be? It comes with 4 bolts. One of them is Allen and some washers. And it comes with 2 different sized rubbers. Now, I just fit it in there because I was unsure whether they wanted me to take off the scoop, but I don't think so, because the long bolts, they are Allen cap screws. So what I think I'll do is remove these Allen head screws on my scoop and fit these, and I think I'll fit them with the original length in the top. Let's take these out. And the whole idea here is, once you fit the tank, it shouldn't be touching on the frame anyway. You've got these fancy rubbers. And if you need to move it up or down, you can shorten the rubbers to move those up slightly. I think on this Series 2 here at least, I think it's going to be pretty much perfect, bang on. So don't have to shorten them. Because the danger here, the thing to remember is, because there are threaded inserts in the tank, where if you cut the rubbers, then you most certainly need to cut your screws as well. Otherwise, you risk bottoming them out in the inserts. Let me just take that out. I can show you the inserts. Can I get it out this way, do you think? Obviously not, but you can say it's really easy to get in and out. There you go. And it's really light, I have to say. So there you have the inserts. And as a note of interest, let's have a look how far the screws go in. I'm trying to multitask, and I can't multitask. I'm terrible at that. So here you've got these brass inserts that are pressed in the top. And just as a point of interest, I wanted to see how far they move down. They sit quite deep here. So that's a good centimetre and a half. Now on the underside, you've also got some inserts. And on a Series 3, apparently, according to the instructions, I'd never noticed it, these fit over the rubber buffers here. And to completely secure the tank, they suggest drilling a hole through here. They also say that if you don't want to, you can obviously just have the rubbers resting on there. Not sure how I'm going to sort that little conundrum out, actually. I have to think about that. But first, what I think I'll do is just fit the rubbers and the screws in the top so I can see the height of them and see how much room I've got between these the little tank frame struts. Right, so I've done as the instructions deem. I have fit the rubbers. It was really easy to get the tank in because they just wobble around. I just pressed the rubbers over the bolts, and I've entered it on the left-hand side, and now I'm going to enter the screw on the right-hand side here. It says, the instructions say, it's really important that you don't cross-thread the lugs in the tank. I'm having problems seeing. See if I can get my torch to... Be nice if I had a little helper now, actually, to the truth. There we go, that's easier to see. I have to try and line up. There you go, bolts with the holes. That was fine. And I'm just going to snug those down for now because I want to see sort of the real height it is onto the frame. The reason why they're quite hard to get in here is because the rubber, I had to move my air scoop a little bit to line the tank up where I wanted it. That is they're fine. Do the other side. So that's not bad actually. That I will not be shortening those rubbers. It just clears. It's going to be hard for you to see, but it clears the frame nicely. And that's the thing with Series 2s. They can be a bit of a pain. If I shine my light, can you see the light? There's a light coming through here. So it's not completely, it's not touching the frame at all here. I've got actually quite a few millimetres. It's clearing nicely all the way around. A nice thing about that as well, it won't rub on the side panel. When they initially designed this, if they was going to get a little bit more literage out of it, they could have made it a little bit wider, especially for us with the Series 2 frames. Loads of space under here. So what I think I'm going to have to do now is I'm going to place these rubbers under here. Let me adjust my tripod a second. So yeah, they're lined perfectly up with the bottom here. They may need shortening on the bottom here. I'm going to think of a clever way to do it, but because Scooter Centre themselves say should fit it like this, I think I'm going to bite the bullet and drill a hole through these. And to do that, I have to remove the tank again. But looking at the bracket and the holes, actually pretty much perfectly lined up. What I think I'm going to do, because I actually like the way it sits there, it's not touching anything. Another thing with the Series 2 as well is this strengthening bar at the back here always is a problem with long range fuel tanks. But you can see where there's a lot of air around here, which is good. So what I'm going to do is just mark where the screw is, and I'm actually going to take out the tank and drill some holes, I reckon. Can you see it? Probably not. Another tip here as well is, let me move that out of the way. Another tip here as well is, if you find that you want to move the tank a bit further forward or a bit further back, then obviously the holes to your air scoop, they are overlay, so it does give you a little bit of movement there. I'm not sure which way I can move them. I've snugged it down a little bit too much, Rob, but I could move it slightly forward. But I like the fact that it's absolutely not touching the frame. That would be very nice. It means it's not going to vibrate or it's going to rub on anything. So what I'm going to do now, as suggested, I'm going to drill the hole. I'm going to make sure it's definitely in the centre. So it's a nicely made, nicely designed tank, actually, I reckon. So let's have a look when it comes to fitting. So that is where the bolt is going to go. I'm just going to make a mark here. And as you can see, that's pretty much in the centre of that strut there. Do the same on the other side. I'm going to centre punch the centre of this carrier here. And the bolts that come with the tank, they are 6mm. So I think I'm going to drill it to 6.5. Access to the drill, not very good. So if you've got a mate with one of those angle drills, go and grab that from him. I have not, so I'm going to have to try and be a little bit careful when I drill this now. Right, so a top tip here, learning by doing. My holes were slightly further in towards the frame than I'd like, and that is because I have to drill them at the angle, because I haven't got an angled drill. So if you're going to do this operation, make your hole punch slightly over to, slightly more to the outside. Where is my screw? I want to see if that fits through. Yes, it does. And yeah, it gives me quite a bit of movement there as well, because I used the... made a larger hole. And I'm not sure. I'm wrecking my brains about this one a little bit. It's a simple enough job. Where are my rubbers? There were the rubbers. The thing is, I would like these rubbers to sit flat and be supported on flat bit of metal. So what I think, what you could do is make a little bit of metal that you put inside this slot and fit that on the top so it's fully supported, or you can flatten these tank rubber holders. I'm not too worried about this frame, and it's only metal that can fix it. And this slightly curved as well. So what I'm gonna actually knock those down, which is very naughty, I know. But yeah, the other alternative I think to doing that is just getting a piece of aluminium, cutting that to size, drilling a hole through, and placing that there, so you've got the rubber fully supported. Because as it is now on my frame here, they're just going to cut into the side there, and they're not going to be supporting that tank how I want them to. Right, so this is the potty trick of this tank. Now that I'm getting to the stage where I can permanently fit this, I am going to fit the fuel tap. And the nice thing about this is you can turn it around, angle it and stuff like that, so that it doesn't interfere with your carb if you've got one on that side. Yeah, scooter center says you should pop it in there and use a hose clamp. This was quite big. Thing is, on the in the instructions that are on, like if you want to find instructions on stuff on both Rimini Lambretta's Centre webpage or Scooter Centre, then you just go into the product and they've got all the articles on that page, which is quite handy. So that's what I've been in and I've read about. But what they say is, when you nip this down, you shouldn't nip it down to more than 3 Newton. Now I have not got I just want it to sit here, there you go, loosely, so it doesn't fall off. Yeah, so this is supposed to be tightened down just to 3 Newton meters. They also suggest don't use grease. The reason why it's 3 Newton meter, by the way, is because you can destroy the O-rings. And because you've got one O-ring each side of that, I think when I go to tighten this down, I'll probably have it in the middle there somewhere and just snug that down. But first off, to fit the fuel tap, they say use oil. I imagine, because this is going to be covered in petrol, I imagine they mean 2-stroke. They don't say which specific oil you should use, so I'll be using 2-stroke today. Castrol Power 1, which is my fave. It's only my favourite because I've actually had no problems with it. So I sort of try and stick with that. Stick with what you know. Right, and then we'll pop this down here, because this is a little bit tricky once you've put the tank into the... oh, that goes in nicely. Nice and tight. Really a reassuring fit, I have to say. A nice reassuring fit. And I'll just put that like this. And I'm just going to... That's not snug at all. I just want it to not rattle around or fall off or anything. So it gives me a bit of easy access when I'm going to snug that down. So, that is the tank in. Just checking around the edges, making sure it's not touching the frame, which it isn't. This is a problem child for the Series 1 and 2. As you see that little bracket there, let me point with that. That little bracket between the tank and the frame, that's a bit of a problem child for Series 1 and 2. That is, as you can see, if I can keep this camera steady there, it's definitely got a gap there. In the end, I ended up cutting these rubbers at the bottom in half. I kept the length on the top, and it clears. It's really actually solidly, snugly fit in there, and should dampen the vibrations. Interesting. So I'll pop on the carb and put on the fuel tap lever and see how that goes. Right, that is the tank fit and the carb fit. As you can see, my little PHBH 30. It's actually a YSN. Yeah, gobs of room there for cables and such like. And the way that I fit it means that even though I cut that the bottom rubbers halfway down, I've still got room to be able to feed my fuel line over to the other side, lad. Other side. Right, let's go to the other side and have a look. Check it out. Oh, I really love this scooter. I think it's so cool with the red rims. Anyway, so that's what it looks like on this side. Bit wobbly cam for you. When I fit this hose clamp, it's supposed to be torqued down to 3 Newton meters. That's nothing. I haven't got something that's, I haven't got a torque wrench that is so small. So what I ended up doing, because I didn't want to bust the O-rings on this, I ended up sort of tightening it until it didn't move. So it's just really lightly tightened. Another thing to know is I am an advocate for rear exit fuel taps. This one is a straight down fuel tap, and I've got loads of room between the silent block here, absolutely no problem. And another thing as well, I actually suspect that the fuel tap is moved in a bit further in towards the frame, because it seems pretty nice, nicely tucked away there. And as you can see, I have fit the fuel tap bar. That is exactly how I like to have them. So that's really nice. And I've already filled up about 5 litres of petrol, because I wanted to test if it'd leak. No seepage, nothing. It's tight. And for those who wonder, yes, you can paint this, but you should use a primer. Talk to your local paint shop and ask them about it, because they need a special primer, I think. The plastic tanks, plastic bodywork. And as you can see here from this angle as well, there you go, it's not touching. So if they had made the capacity bigger, it actually wouldn't have been able to fit in to a Series 1 or 2. But I agree with the comments last time that these huge cutouts are not really that necessary. But a thing to note is, obviously, is when this tank was designed, in the States at least, it was really in with these TS1 annihilators and stuff like that, where they had 35, 38 carbs on them. So just to make sure that everything will fit, I suppose that's why they had to do that. But I would like in the future, if this works out, I would like to see in the future maybe one that has a cutout on one side and not the other, or something like that. But let's give this a try before we say anything else or come to any conclusions. One thing I want to test before we call it a day. Actually, I think I'm going to put that fuel hose under the rod there. Yeah, I'll do that after. One thing I wanted to test is the fuel cap. This was one of the problems that they had. This one, obviously, the type that is with the breather and the Vuitton friendly rubber seal on the inside here. This is one designed by Crazy Monkey. And let's see. The nice thing about the fixing on this tank, I have to say, compared to anything else I fit, is you cannot not get this tank central in the frame. The fitment of the fuel cap it's like perfectly placed for the hole in the frame. And I understand why they were saying they were a little bit tight. So it's really good that it's got that knob on the top. So if you've got one of the old type tanks from America, the Jet 200, then grab yourself one of those. I have seen that they sell those fuel caps on Scooter Center website. So I like that. That was really easy to put on and off. Problem being, I think they're quite expensive, but that's the way it is when you want specially designed stuff. But it will probably save you a lot of faffing around taking that on and off. No issues with that. Job done. Ooh. So if I was going to rate this tank into how difficult it is to fit, I found it's not difficult, but it is a little bit fiddly. So it's not half an hour's job. It is, if you take away the fact that I had to prise my old tank out with a shoehorn, then maybe an hour, set off at least an hour. The nice thing is if you have a Series 3 that's already got the holes in there, the only thing you have to do is just make those a little bit bigger, and the holes will, I have been told, line up. But I've got no problems believing that, to tell you the truth, because this, like I said, sits really nicely central in the frame, and it seems really nicely designed. It's got its quibbles, and I measured the fuel that went into the tank. I got 2.7 litres. I'm lying, 12.7 litres, and that was completely brim. So saying that it's almost 13 litre fuel tank, and on this particular setup, that will give us about 90 kilometres extra compared to an original style fuel camp. The bugbear is the fact that I had to remove the toolbox. I love my toolbox, but I have made a little rack on the back here, and I am going to show you in the next video. I'm going to show you some, or maybe not the next one, the one after that. I'm going to show you some scooter luggage, because we're going to be using this on some longer tours. Anyway, I'll stop babbling, and I'll let you get on your merry way. If you like this kind of stuff, then don't forget, subscribe to the channel. If you want to support the channel, there's loads of things you can do. You can buy merch. You can give me a super thanks underneath there. You can also become a channel member. It's really, really cheap. I think it's a couple of quid a month or something like that. And I always release videos a week earlier to the members. And yeah, cool. I'll keep this tank in my scooter for the whole of the season, and we'll see how it goes. And believe me, if something goes wrong with it, if it springs a leak, I run into any sort of issues, I don't believe I will, to be honest, because it seems pretty good. But yeah, you will be the first to know about it. Well, at least the subscribers and the and the members will be the first to know about it. The other plebs, I'll have to wait an extra week. Right, I love you and leave you, and I'll see you all in the next one. Ta-ra! Bollocks, bollocks, bollocks. Lots of talking without actually doing anything. And it wasn't filming.